What can we do?
Well, here's what I'm about to tell you. Back on my table, I've got action steps, what to ask, and I'll point that out. You've got to get into your city councils. You've got to start educating them and introducing them to Agenda 21 and what is going on and what is happening. Just by the point of being in here and seeing and using the words, you can't rush into them going, you're going to Agenda 21, you're a communist, you're going to shut down. It's not the way to do it. You guys sit down, and I actually have a presentation. It's 14 minutes that I can email you. It's with a voice and everything, PowerPoint by John Anthony, who's one of the speaker bureaus with Tom DeWeese, and it's in our kit. And you can actually play it and show what is going on. Most city councilmen and our mayors and are true Americans, and they want their property too. Mm-hmm. They don't understand the agenda that is going on, and it's up to us to educate. You know, one of the biggest things you can do is go to Agenda 21 for Dummies. It's 10 minutes. It's very powerful. It will mean a lot more now since I've spoken. You'll get more parts of what's going on. And people can remember that, Agenda 21 for Dummies, and it's spelled out 21 for Dummies. But you know, I also talk about this at the end that I think is very important. Here's another thing. This is a great book, Behind the Green Mask. She's a commercial developer in California and started putting the pieces. It's an easy read, and she really gets the point across. And she's the Democrats against UN Agenda 21, so get to your Democrats. Global warming and how the other movements, eco-myths. You know how Amazon's so helpful. Actually, I didn't order this book. This is amazing. I've had this book in my library for 10 years. A man gave it to me. And then I went and ordered copies, and then a man said, since you ordered this, you need to look at this. Yeah. Right. So I got this, but this is somebody always asks me, ma'am, this is, you know, if this is true, why isn't Rush Limbaugh talking about it? This is my Rush Limbaugh weapon. I bring out this book, and I go, Environmental Overkill. What happened to common sense? Yep. This was written by Dixie Lee Ray, and let me tell you who she was. She is late, she died, the former governor of the state of Washington, chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission, assistant secretary of state to the U.S. Bureau of Oceans, long-term member of the zoology faculty at the University of Washington. She was the recipient of many awards and honors, including the United Nations Peace Prize. Then I flip open to the copyright page, and it's 1993. And this is where I'd show my slide, and I'd flip back and go, 1992, Bush signed in Rio. 1993, President Clinton did the Sustainable Development. And then I read a small paragraph on the back jacket that says, Environmental Overkill. Tells you what actually happened at the Earth Summit in Rio. It wasn't about environmental science. It was about bureaucrats coming together to transfer wealth. Wow, 1993. Increase their power and invent an environmental police force to punish those that would impose them. Can you say EPA? Ray and Guzzo also take a close look at the environmentalism of Vice President Al Gore. I woke up in the middle of the night and I went, the Green Book, Environment, it's on my shelf. I had a client give it to me years ago. Who reads that? Did you? I freaked out, and I opened it up and I read the jacket, and I never went back to bed that night. And if you remember Acid Rain, I remember being terrified. Yeah. Fake. Fake. Yeah. Okay, why is Ron Paul, why are you saying he's a fake? Because he's a fake. Do you remember DDT? Yeah. Oh, fake. It's fake. It's the greatest.
Rachel Carson's book.
All fake.
Silent Spring. My goodness.
Silent Spring was created to shut down. Let me tell you what happened. They turned around, they did DDT in Africa, and it saved millions of children because they weren't getting malaria and dying. And the elitists, remember the Guidestones, 500 said, oh my gosh, we can't have that. They hired Rachel Carlson to do the book and shut down DDT.
Nothing good came out of the 60s.
A scientist, well, except people, I'm 67. But those people that are whack-a-mos, but honestly, have you seen the movie Agenda, Grinding Down America? Oh my God, you need to Google Agenda, like Agenda 21, Grinding Down America. It is Cliff Bowers, B-O-W-E-R-S. I have the movies, I rent rooms, and I show it. He was a guy in school, and somebody called him, I can't remember, and said, I need you to go to this meeting I need you to check it out and take notes because I can't go there. And it was on a college campus, and it was in the hippies and smoking pot, and doing cocaine. And he said, you know, it's a bunch of hippies, I'll go, whatever. And he walks in, and it's all these senior citizens in briefcase, older people, talking about an agenda that they're going to do. They're going to destroy the female in the family with feminism, getting her out to work, break down the family unit, push homosexual agenda, and when he listed on the screen, you just freak, because everything they said. Well, he laughed. He wrote it down, he laughed, he said, that's never going to happen. Not in America. How many people heard that? And then, fast forward to his life, he gets appointed by a governor of whatever state because a position of the legislator, somebody had a heart attack or died. So somehow, and he wasn't a legislator or a politician, he got appointed, he filled the seat, and all of a sudden he started looking at these laws. And he went and he dug out that paper. And he said, oh my God, almost everyone has come true. And he did the documentary, and it is amazing. The man that wrote The Naked Communist he talks about, Trevor Loudon, who is amazing. He's an Aussie that if you don't have his blog, you've got to get him. I was with him 2 weeks ago. He's amazing. I handed him my card. He goes, I get your emails. I went, now that's a compliment. I have a massive email list. Trevor Loudon is interviewed. The man that None Dare Call It Treason, John Stormer. Amazing book. None Dare Call It Education. Another amazing book that tells you what is going on in our government. None Dare Call It Education. None Dare Call It Treason. So to finish the Rush Limbaugh, then I read the front of the book. A way must be found to get this book into the hands of as many Americans as possible. Back of the book. The myth promulgated by militant environmentalists are now accepted as fact by far too many who are ripe for a cure for the so-called crisis. A cure which will actually rob them much of their economic and political freedom. Rush Limbaugh. And I go, why don't you ask him? He's known since 1993. Let me tell you what I found out about Rush Limbaugh. I met with a doctor who knows all the scam about the medicine. He got on my email list. We started talking. We went to have lunch, and I was talking about Rush or something. He said, let me tell you about Rush. His mother grew up friends with Phyllis Schlafly. Schlafly, yeah, I told you I could butcher the English language. This doctor's mother, and he said, and he's probably in his 60s now, he goes, I just never, my mom was always giving me this stuff. And I was like, okay, crazy mom. And, you know, and then he realized what she had done. Well, in the same neighborhood was Rush Limbaugh's parents. And she also affected his parents. Rush, the reason he went into conservatism is because of that influence of Phyllis. But he also knows the players. So he knows where the limit is. You can't be in it that long and not understand. You can't endorse and say this book has to get in the hands of every American in 1993 and you haven't screamed at it. I've done more damage than Rush Limbaugh with a million-plus audience than I've done since August 13th.
Look what happened to Beck.
Well,
get driven off a farm.
Beck's not even, I think, a true person. Anybody that laughs at the birther movement, he's still a paid hand. Some of it he allows to come out, but it's not all totally honest. All right, so here's what I wanted to close with. This is very overwhelming. It is. It is like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Here's something that you got to know, and you got to know it like you know it. First of all, Gandhi said, and this really gave me a lot of peace when, I forget who told me this, but a doctor told me this. It was Tom Deweese told me this. First they ignore you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, and then we win. We're in the fighting stage, people. This is when people give up. We can't give up. We're fighting and we're winning. Now, I went through my presentation with 2 women today, and they said, well, how do you know? And I said, I'll tell you how I know. Does anybody know what a Google alert is? You can go to Google, and you put in the search bar, Google alert. And it'll come up, and it'll tell you how to do an alert.
Oh.
Well, I know that because I'm a web person. I build websites, and my company does. So I went in August, and I put in Agenda 21 and UN Agenda 21. I also put in nationalization of 401ks and IRAs because I'm watching that like a hawk. And Google goes out with the spiders, and it collects every article that matches. Now, sometimes you'll get agenda on the 21st of March.
Right.
But it matches. It's a computer, and it's matching, and it does it throughout the whole world, not just Florida, not just Georgia, but the world. When I first put in that thing, I got about 3 Google alerts a day on Agenda 21. And some of them were, you know, March 17th agenda or the 21st, whatever. I'm getting probably 15 to 20 a day. All
These are
over.
new articles being posted?
Oh, yeah, and they're all over. I mean, I don't have my phone, but I immediately picked it up and showed Jan and Diane and read them too. It was a video. Different blogs, different papers, it's UK, it's Brazil, it doesn't matter. And I'm watching, and if you don't know about Google, I mean, it's amazing. And the government, I'm sure they've given up now, was trying to get a hold of Google. Can you imagine being like God and looking down at all the Google searches and being able to predict businesses and income and fads and fashions? It's kind of cool sitting there and watching your computer go from 3 a day to 15 to 20 a day. And they're not just coming from here. They're coming from all over the United States, all over the world. People are waking up. And people, that's in less than a year. They're waking up. So please have some faith in that. Also, what we're fighting, truly, is evil versus good.
Exactly.
I mean, it boils down to the Bible. Also, because I teach in the Constitution the war on God, let me explain something to you. When you take God out of this country, it immediately annihilates our Constitution and our Bill of Rights.
Amen.
And people go, well, how's that? Well, because it says
Based on.
God gives us our rights by the endower. So they've got to get God out so they can get rid of that Constitution and that Bill of Rights. This is, a man walked up to me and said, have you read this book? I was in Molasses Junction, in the middle of the cornfield. I'm not kidding. Molasses Junction, like Petticoat Junction. He doesn't have email, but he walked up to me and he had this book, and I've ordered it. And this will scare you to death, but it tells you exactly what's going on. Hope of the Wicked, Ted Flynn. He did it in 2000. We can beat it if we're educated. I also know that we will win this fight. Here's what I know. Sometimes we get so caught up in the how. How are we going to do it? What you got to know is we know the how.
That's right.
Who knows how to do it?
You bet.
And I can also tell you this much. I don't care how much Soros they have, Maurice Strong, how much money they got. We got God,
That's
our
right.
Father,
Amen.
Lord Almighty. And
Amen.
you've got to remember that. He has not fought and sent the devil to Jesus Christ to lose.
Right.
This is all about devil. This is all about pantheism. This is all about getting God out. This is all about taking away parental rights. All about evil as evil can get. And there's no way in heck God's going to look down and go, you know, I'm just going to flush the earth away. Because if America goes, the whole world goes. So, you know, if you go up my car and you look at my visor, I have a blue Post-it note that says, God is still God.
Amen.
Still on the throne.
And he is, you better believe he's on that throne.
Yep.
So I have peace in knowing that God is still God. I also know that you think, well, what can I do? I get this all the time. What can I do on one person? And this is what I tell them. Nothing is done in groups. It's always done in one person. Look at what Dr. Kaufman did. If you don't know who Sheriff Mack is, when the Brady bill came in,
Oh, yeah.
that was the bill to round up guns. He sued the government. He went to the NRA. The NRA said, we were waiting for you to call. He goes, me? He goes, well, no, a sheriff. He wasn't even a member of the NRA. He just got elected sheriff. It's an amazing God-given story. And they said, we're not going to fight it on Second Amendment. We're going to fight it on the 10th Amendment, state sovereignty. And they won. And you can thank Richard Mack if you own a gun. That's one man. You can thank Dr. Salk. You can thank Thomas Edison, Benjamin Franklin. I mean, come on, guys. Well, look at Obama, one person, nightmare. Hillary Clinton. And of course, my favorite, Jesus Christ, who we're still arguing about to this day.
Right.
One person. Don't think you can't make a difference, because you can. And you will make a difference. And they want you to think, that mindset,
Right.
what can I do? I have no power.
Right.
You know, when
That's
somebody
it.
says that to me, I go, well, congratulations, you bought into the Kool-Aid.
My vote doesn't count.
Because let me tell you, I am one person and I am one tornado coming at me.
Amen.
Okay? All right. And the last thing, God always uses a remnant.
Yes, it is.
What you're looking at in this room is God's remnant. Don't you ever forget that. You forget, and you know, there's this word I can't stand, it's called hope. Hope is a girl's name. I don't do anything hoping.
Right.
I have faith. Hebrews 11:1 is my favorite Bible verse. Faith is the evidence of the substance of things not seen. You got to know that you're winning this fight. You got to know that you know the who. Don't get tied up on how we're going to do it, because he's going to do divine intervention. Anybody that watches Beck, you see that all the time. I mean, I see divine intervention all the time. When we're fighting Sharia law, which is the two things in this country, Sharia law and Agenda 21, is what will destroy this country. And you've just got to go out, and you've just got to be that remnant, and you don't understand. It's just like that butterfly effect, or Fast Forward, the movie, of what you do that causes other people to do. Had I not just said, I'm going to be like Miss Agenda 21, I wouldn't be in this room today. You would not know about this. Our legislator wouldn't know about this. And you're going to go out and you're going to tell more people. We've got to get to the car manufacturers. We've got to get to the industry. You've got sons and daughters and husbands and wives that are in industry. We've got to wake up. We've got to get people to understand what is going on. And when you sit there and you tell them, did you know that farm dust was declared a pollutant? Did you know our farmers can't get hay because it's declared a pollutant? Like what? I mean, that's why I give examples, which I didn't do in the beginning. Because people, you know, Agenda 21, it's this spooky map, and they walk out and go, well, spooky map doesn't have much to do with me. But grants are coming in, and the money's coming in, and where are they getting the money? Start asking questions. They're not used to us asking questions.
Right.
Here's what's amazing. I have a degree, as I said, in NLP, and I listen to languages. I listen to words and how they're used. I also watch CBS, and here's why. I don't watch it a lot, but I pick programs, certain programs like cop shows. The head of CBS used to be the head of the military and the brainwashing division.
Oh, wonderful.
Google Tavistock, Tavistock. It's the whole brainwashing of our government and what they do through videos and through everything. Do you remember the very spooky commercial that came on with Demi Moore and the play toy thing she's married to, I forget his name, and whatever, going, I will follow my president. I will follow my president. It looked like Hollywood squares and little, and it was very spooky. I pledged to the president. I pledged that. I'm like, I'm not pledging to nothing. What? You know, listen to what they did. Well, the other day I was watching, oh, my favorite show, I'm Still in Love with Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck, and it's Blue Bloods, and you got his son and the daughter in the crew thing, and they go in to investigate a cyber, and they go into a cyber cafe where he's got his cafe, and he's getting coffee or smoking outside. They go to his computer. He walks in and goes, what are you doing? They go, looking at the computer. He goes, no, it's not. I know my rights. Stop it. Where's your warrant? And they're like, oh, no, we're going to show you. He goes, I know my rights. Stop it. Where's your warrant? And he said it 3 times, and they threw him out, and they walk out, and the girl looks to Danny Reagan and says, I hate it when they know they're right.